The movie is set in the 29th century and it opens with a spatial shot of Earth. Our planet is very different. A debris field envelops Earth, countless cities and towns are derelict, and to make things worse, there is junk and rubble everywhere. Piles and mountains of scraps and waste litter the land. The trash piles are so high that they loom over the land. A cloud of thick dust and sandstorms permeate the entire planet, making the air barely breathable, and there is no vegetation to be seen anywhere. We can't see any humans either in the opening scene. But we do encounter a cute little robot, rolling through the streets, picking up trash and compacting it into a bundle. The robot is called Wall-E. It piles the compacted trash cubes on top of each other and it seems to be attempting to clean up the planet. Its only friend is a cockroach, who rides around with Wall-E as it works. The robot has piled up so many cubes of trash, to the point of creating skyscraper-like buildings with it. Wall-E carries a metal disc that he finds interesting and leaves after a hard day's work. While Wall-E travels through the city, it plays 21st century music, and we can see countless other Wall-E models out of commission. Through holographic tapes, we learn that a megacorporation by and large sent humanity into space on enormous starliners, leaving rubbish compacting robots to clean up the Earth. Now, humanity is completely gone from view, living a life of luxury on ships like the Axiom and not caring about the planet anymore. Wall-E travels to his made-up home, inside a large truck that used to ship robots like itself. His home contains a significant number of collected ornaments, baubles, and items from the planet. Wall-E seems to have developed a warm personality as he decorates the house. He adds the disc and Rubik's Cube to his collection. He relaxes by watching old romantic movies and seems fascinated by a man holding a woman's hand as they stroll through the park. Poor Wall-E is terribly lonely on Earth. At night, Wall-E seals off the gate before a massive sandstorm reaches the house, then feeds his cockroach and folds itself into a cube before going to sleep. The next day, Wall-E awakens sluggish and weak. We discover that he uses solar power to maintain his systems, so he stands in the sunlight for a few minutes every morning to power up. Once recharged, Wall-E picks up his lunchbox and heads to work. He diligently cleans trash, all the while picking up toys and other items he fancies. His routine days change when he finds a locked fridge. After cutting through, Wall-E discovers a germinating plant. He is very impressed by this discovery and takes it home. At the truck, a mysterious red dot appears before Wall-E. He tries grabbing it, but it keeps zipping away, so he chases it around the city. Suddenly, thousands of the same dots appear all over the buildings and junk and then converge to Wall-E's position. The ground shakes and Wall-E notices a massive vessel landing from above him. He is stuck between its flaming engines and then buried in rubble. The sheer size of the ship terrifies Wall-E, so he quietly crawls away. But instantly, a part of the ship opens and deposits a container. Wall-E observes as the container is programmed and then transforms into a beautiful white robot, which is activated and begins scanning the area for something. Wall-E then hides once more when the ship's engines power up and it leaves Earth. The white robot is much more advanced than Wall-E. She can levitate and fly at heightened speed. She elegantly soars through the sky, exploring the land, and Wall-E can't help but feel awestruck. When Wall-E makes some noise, the white robot turns hostile and blasts the rock he's hiding behind. Thankfully, it missed Wall-E and did not detect his presence. The visitor roams through the city scanning various areas with Wall-E trailing behind it. When the cockroach decides to greet the white robot and ignore Wall-E's warnings, the visitor blasts the cockroach at first, but then she develops a liking for him. On the other hand, she ignores Wall-E after asking him what's his name and he doesn't reply. Days later, the visitor continues her search, scanning various areas and not finding what she's looking for. Wall-E is always following her, trying to be friends, but she keeps ignoring him. One day, the white robot grows frustrated with her aimless search, and to make things worse, she gets stuck into a magnet. In a fit of anger, she blasts the magnet and destroys a few petrol ships. Wall-E and the white robot start speaking after the incident. Her name is Eve and she has a classified mission. While Wall-E's mission is very humble, Wall-E has trouble pronouncing words and his stammering makes Eve giggle. The two develop a friendship and a bond. At that moment, a massive sandstorm brews, and Eve is not accustomed to this environment and doesn't know what to do. Wall-E invites her over to take shelter in his truck. There, she discovers countless human inventions and completes the Rubik's Cube in less than a second. Impressing Wall-E when he shows her VHS tapes of musicals, she watches with fascination and then scans the video. Then, the two attempt to dance, but Eve has no rhythm, and her systems are so powerful and destructive that she sends Wall-E crashing into the walls. Although Wall-E is damaged and hurt, he does not blame Eve. Instead, he repairs his broken components and shows Eve his collection of lighters. She loves the flame and stares at it intensely. Wall-E awkwardly tries to hold her hand, but she brushes him off and scans the video as the couple holds hands on the screen. Wall-E tries to impress Eve by showing her the plant he found in the fridge. In response, Eve scans the plant, and for the first time, her systems flash green, indicating she has found her objective. Following protocols, Eve collects the plant, seals it in a force field, and shuts down completely. Wall-E tries to wake her up, but she doesn't respond. He is very concerned for his new friend, so the next day, he tries taking Eve outside in the sunlight, hoping she'll recharge and awaken. But sadly, despite the sun and summer heat, Eve is not responsive. Many months later, Wall-E continues to stay by Eve's side, despite the weather and seasonal changes. He tries to protect her during rainstorms and keep her clean after sandstorms. No matter how much he tries, she never wakes up. Wall-E starts taking Eve with him everywhere he goes. They take strolls together, boat rides, and even watch the sunset. Though Wall-E is sad to leave Eve at the truck, he decides to move on and return to his routine job. He packs his stuff and goes to work, cleaning trash one pile at a time. One day, while working with the cockroach, Wall-E sees the spaceship that brought Eve landing back on Earth. He hurries back home and finds the ship retrieving Eve. He calls for her, but she's taken inside the ship and placed with other robots. Refusing to give up, Wall-E speeds up, leaps off a bridge, and lands on the ship. He grabs on as the ship leaves the atmosphere, and soon he finds himself in space with Earth behind him. The ship travels through the solar system, and Wall-E tries to call for Eve through a porthole so she can watch the magnificent astral bodies with him. He is in awe at the galaxies and planets and even recharges when passing near the sun. The ship then lands on a colossal vessel called the Axiom. Inside, multiple machines begin refueling the smaller craft, and other robots are summoned to scan Eve and the rest of her kind. Wall-E is dragged by a machine, and the robots identify him as a foreign and contaminated object. He avoids detection by hiding away from their scans. However, when the maintenance droids scan Eve, a green alert is activated all over the shop, and Eve is taken on a stretcher by multiple droids and placed in an elevator. Wall-E follows them, refusing to abandon Eve. When they exit the lift, Wall-E is bewildered by the thousands of robots zipping around in a traffic-like system. He is unable to keep up with Eve as he is scared of the traffic. He finally musters the courage to chase after her, and when he crosses to a different lane, he sees humans on hover chairs for the first time. All the people are heavy due to the microgravity in space, and they are glued to their screens, preferring to communicate virtually even if their friends are right next to them. Wall-E notices that the humans barely move from their seats and that robots are available everywhere and anytime, ready to serve the humans and bring their food, water, and whatever they need. There are so many humans on hover chairs that they create a traffic jam, all the while being oblivious to everything around them. A man mistakenly assumes Wall-E is a service bot. He calls Wall-E over and asks for another drink, but Wall-E doesn't reply, so the man falls off his chair and lies on the ground, unable to carry himself back up. The service bot doesn't appear in time to help him, so Wall-E assists the man and helps him back on his chair. The man thanks him and introduces himself as John. Wall-E asks about Eve, but John tells him that's not his name. Suddenly, Eve is spotted in traffic, so Wall-E says goodbye to his new friend and chases after her. He jumps on a train-like car carrying Eve. The vehicle moves super fast, and Wall-E watches advertisements about life on Axiom. People live in their seats, their food is liquefied in bottles, and they all dress the same way. Wall-E tries to squeeze behind a passenger to reach Eve but is unable to. Surprisingly, the lady is oblivious to him, so he turns off the passenger's screen and she finally notices him. She's gracious enough to move and allow Wall-E to reunite with Eve. Wall-E's peculiar yet friendly personality affects the people he encounters. When the train stops, the lady notices for the first time that they have a huge pool. Wall-E also waves at an administrative robot and the latter tries to wave back. He then takes Eve to the ship's bridge, where a bot scans her, and then calls the captain by opening a space in the floor, and inadvertently, Wall-E falls into the captain's quarters. When the captain awakens, Wall-E pretends to be one of the service bots and massages his feet, while the others pamper the captain and get him ready. Later, Wall-E accidentally goes back to the bridge and hides as the captain receives an extensive status report on the ship's systems. All seems to be normal, so the captain announces that it's the 700th anniversary of their 5-year cruise. After that, the lead bot informs the captain that one of their probes has returned with a positive signal. The captain is intrigued and wonders if it's true because no probe has ever returned with a positive signal. Eve is reactivated, much to Wall-E's delight, and the computer initiates a green alert, sealing the bridge and playing a top-secret video of a president congratulating the captain on their extraterrestrial vegetation evaluator discovering vegetation and so the planet capable of sustaining life. The president says it is time to return to Earth because they must recolonize and all they have to do is follow the guidebook. Wall-E hands the book to the captain and it says by inserting the plant into the ship's holodetector, a hyperjump back to Earth will occur. While the captain is trying to figure out how to read, Wall-E reunites with Eve, who is surprised to find him aboard the ship. She asks him to hide and stay out of sight, but he is completely smitten by her. The captain follows the manual's protocols and begins extracting the plant from Eve, but shockingly, it's nowhere to be found. They scan Eve repeatedly and she also searches around, hoping to find it, but with no luck. Eve blames Wall-E for taking or hiding the plant while the captain assumes Eve must be defective and making stuff up, which disappoints her greatly. She is taken to maintenance and Wall-E greets the captain, who is afraid of Wall-E at first, but the bot's kind demeanor wins the captain over, so he asks for Wall-E to be cleaned. When they leave, the captain analyzes some dirt from Wall-E and discovers it's from Earth, so he spends hours mesmerized by images of his home planet. During their maintenance trip, Eve gives Wall-E the cold shoulder until they reach the workshop, where Eve is shut down and they are separated. Wall-E avoids the shutdown mechanic and is cleaned and placed behind a force field with defective bots. He watches from a distance as Eve undergoes a diagnostic test and mistakenly assumes she is being tortured, so he breaks free and attacks the maintenance drone. During the scuffle, they inadvertently blast the control panel and release all the malfunctioning bots, who hail Wall-E as their savior. They carry him around celebrating their freedom and escape while Eve chases after them. With all the chaos, security bots block the group's way and attempt to arrest them. Wall-E is afraid, but Eve protects him. The security snap an image of them and displays it all over the ship, calling Eve, Wall-E, and the malfunctioning bots rogue robots. They make a run for it with security chasing them, but Eve cleverly hides near a window, avoiding detection. She takes Wall-E in an elevator, and when he excitedly points at their wanted picture, she blasts the screen to quiet him. Eve is unhappy about what has happened, though she wants to help Wall-E get back home, so she takes him to an escape pod. But when she doesn't board it, Wall-E refuses to go. Suddenly, someone enters the room, so the duo hides using their egg in cube form. The cleaning bot appears with the plant. It places it in the escape pod and leaves. Wall-E happily retrieves the plant, but before he can offer it to Eve, the bot launches the escape pod. Wall-E is jettisoned in space, but Eve heroically ejects herself after him. The pod is set to self-destruct and Wall-E starts pressing buttons randomly, hoping to stop the sequence. Sadly, nothing works. Wall-E uses an extinguisher to break the glass, but he's unsuccessful. The pod explodes before Eve can reach it and she is distraught. To her surprise, Wall-E emerges from the debris and zips around using the fire extinguisher as a jetpack. He offers Eve the plant and the two hug and dance in space. Eve kisses Wall-E, creating a spark between them. The couple then flies around the ship, celebrating their victory, and from a window, John and Mary, the two people Wall-E interacted with, end up cheering for them. John and Mary also hold hands, preferring to enjoy each other's company instead of being glued to their screens. When the extinguisher is empty, Eve carries Wall-E back to the ship and they sneak in. While hiding, Wall-E tries to play romantic music and hold Eve's hand, but she's worried about the plant. She tells Wall-E to remain hidden as she goes to the bridge. Eve finds the captain in his quarters and completes her mission by giving him the plant. He is overjoyed to be going back home. He watches videos of Earth taken by Eve's scans and is surprised to find the planet desolate and dirty, unlike the historical videos he's been watching. Eve recalls Wall-E trying to hold her hand, just like a video on screen. And after reviewing her security footage, she finds that Wall-E stood by her side when she was shut down, protecting and caring for her until they were reunited. On the other hand, Wall-E grows impatient and worried about Eve, so he climbs up a garbage chute and makes his way to the bridge. Meanwhile, the captain is about to set a course for Earth, but Otto, the bridge bot, refuses to follow orders, claiming they can't go back home. The captain orders Otto to explain, so he plays a video of the same president, telling everyone not to return to Earth as the toxicity levels are too high and the cleanup operation failed. Otto follows the president's latest directive, so he can't let them return. The captain counters by saying those orders are from 700 years ago, so things must have gotten better for a plant to survive. Otto refuses and calls for his bot to take the captain away, but Eve intervenes. A bot takes the plant and throws it in the garbage, but Wall-E emerges with the plant much to everyone's delight. When Wall-E hides the plant in his compartment, Otto attacks and zaps him until he short-circuits and passes out in the chute. Otto also shuts down Eve and throws her and confines the captain to his quarters. Eve reboots and finds herself in a garbage disposal area, where junk is crushed into cubes and jettisoned into space. She and Wall-E are stuck to one of the cubes. Eve blasts her way out of a cube and tries to release Wall-E, but he is stuck. The airlock is about to release them to space when the cleaning bot appears, having chased Wall-E's dirt trail all the way here. Eve uses all her might to pull Wall-E out and hold on as they get sucked into space. Fortunately, the little droid gets stuck in the airlock door, so the procedure is aborted in time. With all that happened, Wall-E is severely injured and is barely functioning. His chip is fried, so Eve desperately searches the junkyard for suitable parts to fix him, but all she gets are newer ones and nothing matches Wall-E's antiquated system. Realizing that time is running out, Wall-E gives Eve the plant and tells her to save the humans, but she refuses to follow her directive, insisting on being with Wall-E when he shows her the lighter, her favorite gadget. She is reminded that going back to Earth means they'll find parts for Wall-E. Eve carries Wall-E and his new cleaning buddy and blasts her way out of the waste area. The rogue robots watch her dispose of a security guard and hear Wall-E playing his favorite song, so they rally behind the couple. Together they storm the ship, battling their way to the bridge. The captain hacks the comm system and sends directions to Eve and Wall-E, asking them to take the plant to the holographic system. Otto sics his bots on the couple, but the rogue robots defend them. Not only does the captain trick Otto into releasing him, but he also fights and activates the green alert on all of the ship. Thus, all the robots start preparing the humans to return to Earth. The holopod is released, but Eve can't place the plant in it as the ship swings from Otto and the captain's fight. The humans slide everywhere, and John and Mary rescue some babies while Eve stops a huge piece of debris from dropping on the humans. Otto takes advantage of the situation and closes the holographic pod, but Wall-E uses his own body to keep it open and, in the process, takes more damage. Watching this event, the captain stands on his 2 feet for the first time and disables Otto. The ship regains its balance, and the humans and bots work together to pass the plant to Eve, who activates the system. Wall-E, however, is not responding to her. The course is set, and the ship uses its hyperdrive system to return to Earth in a matter of seconds. It quickly lands, and Eve flies herself and Wall-E back to his home, where she uses his old tools to repair him, put him back together, and give him sunlight to recharge. Though he is repaired, Wall-E reverts to his old programming and forgets all his memories of Eve and the cockroach. He goes back to work, oblivious of his friends and previous life. Eve tries to talk some sense to him and hold his hand like he always wanted. Suddenly, Wall-E regains some of his memories and calls Eve by her name. She is overjoyed and hugs him. The two dance to Wall-E's favorite musical while the captain teaches the humans how to plant to regain the planet. The movie ends with Wall-E and Eve living on Earth while the humans clean up their homes and adapt to life with gravity. If you enjoyed my movie recap, do let me know in the comments below, and please subscribe and like the video for more recaps like this. Also, don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you never miss a future video. And until next time guys, take care.